This is after VJ has been introduced to the unnamed girl, and after they do some experimenting with figuring out what she can do exactly, after they have determined some of the things that the unnamed girl can and can't do, they Katya and VJ decide to take her out drinking. So they manage to get her into the local bar, and here they are settling in after getting through the bouncer. Quick thinking with the medical issue there, Mary, VJ said. Thanks. Speaking of, Mary? It was the first name that popped into my mind. Do you actually have a niece named Mary? The girl asked. No, I'm an only child. That explains the lamest name ever, said the girl. Well, what do you want to be called? By my actual name. Which is? She pondered for a moment and said, Yeah, I have no idea. Damn, I was hoping it had just come to you subconsciously. Yeah, I figured, the girl said. That's why it didn't work. Okay, I'm going to find some drinks, said VJ. Who wants what? Jet pilot, said Katya. Jesus, you're starting the night out hard, are you? Am I going to have to carry you home? It's a distinct possibility, said Katya. And you? He asked the girl. Surprised me, I guess. Any allergies? Bananas. Katya and VJ stared at her for a moment, expectantly. Oh, she smiled and perked up. Bananas! I'm allergic to bananas! That's a thing I know now. How do you know? Katya asked. I don't know, it was just there. Okay, so one jet pilot and one something without bananas, VJ said, and he headed to the bar. So let's get back to this name situation, said the girl. I can't be a Mary. What would you like it to be? I don't know, something cool. Leia? Princess Awesome Pants? Pupalaka, Queen of the Undead Hordes? I don't see any hordes, just you. The night is young, said maybe Pupalaka. What about Sarah? Sarah? She said, wrinkling her nose. What's wrong with Sarah? It's just so basic. It's the name parents give to their fourth daughter when all the good names are taken and they just don't care anymore. Okay, so not Sarah. It's like a default ringtone, said Unsarah, like that standard Windows background wallpaper. It's the cheese pizza of names, you know? Like, sure, it's serviceable, but it's just kind of there. Okay, so you want your name to be a Meat Lovers, said Katya. Sure, or something with Gouda and chorizo. Maybe a handmade wood-fired deal. Well, aren't we pan-European, said Katya. So something Dutch and Spanish? Maybe you can be Lottie Matuti? You're on the right track. Sophia Rasmussen? That's pretty cool, but it doesn't feel like me, she said. What about Cynthia? That's a crazy girl's name. Well, I mean, the jury's out until we know more about you. Fair, but I don't think I feel like a Cynthia, she said. I feel like I'll know my name when I hear it. Maybe. That's not a lot to go on, Katya said, and we can't just go on calling you Hey You. It could make the name game awkward. Oh, I know, said Katya. Bella. Bella was the human. The vampire was Edward. I was thinking Lugosi, said Katya as VJ returned with drinks. Also, how do you know that? Once again, I have no idea, she said. VJ set a tall, colorful beverage on the table in front of the girl. Ooh, what's this? She asked. A zombie, he said, suppressing a grin. Dude, said Katya, receiving her jet pilot. VJ sat down with his lager. Nice, said possibly Bella. Liquid cannibalism. You're not a zombie, though, Katya said. You would have eaten our brains by now. True, I guess. I wonder what you actually are, then, said VJ. I mean, you're not a vampire, right? Can you go outside in the daytime? I think so, but that doesn't necessarily rule out vampirism, she said. Dracula could go out in the daytime. Vampires weren't sensitive to sunlight until the movie Nosferatu in 1922. So you can remember that, but not who you are, said VJ as she took a sip of her zombie. Apparently. I mean, it's not like I was just sitting there on that information, she said. It just sort of came to me when you mentioned vampires and sunlight. Right, no, I get that, he said. It's just bizarre which memories come back and which ones don't. Brains are weird, I guess. As long as they're not delicious, said Vijay. I don't plan on finding out, she said. You'd starve to death on this one anyway, said Katya, tilting her head in Vijay's direction. Hey! No, she's right. I can't think of any undead creatures that can blink, said Katya, or even move really fast. They're not known for their speed, are they? Said the girl. Not for the most part, no, said Vijay. Except newer zombies, which I don't really care for. I wish I still had my old monster manual. They sat in silence for a moment. Vijay pointed at the girl and said, Nancy Wilson. What? That's your name. They both stared at him expectantly. The guitarist from Heart, he said. The women looked at each other, each with a raised eyebrow. No? Okay, how about Brett, said Vijay. Brett? Asked definitely not Brett. As in Brett the Hitman Hart? Said Katya. Exactly, he said. That's what I'm calling you from now on. The Hitman, or just Hitman for short. You are not calling her Hitman, Katya said. Honestly, it's better than Sarah, she said. Melissa Joan, said Katya excitedly. A heart-based name which has the added benefit of being a teenage witch, said Vijay. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that, said Katya. Actually, Sabrina's an okay name. That's not terrible, said the girl. I mean, as a placeholder. Sabrina's not undead, though, Vijay said. Well, we can't have everything, can we? Said maybe Sabrina. Nope, I've got it, Vijay said. I know what we're calling you. Hit it, she said. Hardy Farty the Funeral Party. Wow, said the young lady who was definitely not named that. How many of those have you had? Said Katya, gesturing to Vijay's beer. Like 4 sips, said Vijay. You do realize that you are absolutely forbidden from naming so much as a pet from now on, yes? That's probably a good idea, he said, looking at a plate of wings being carried back. I should have grabbed a snack menu. Be right back. And off he went. And I think that's a good place to stop for now.